Sweet, let's do it. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of The Locker Room. I'm here with Zach Lomax. What's going on, brother?
Hey, mate. Yeah, not too much. Just day off today, so looking forward to having a bit of a chat.
Yeah, so actually, I'm just thinking of it now. Lomax, where's the heritage of that? What's the bloodline?
Mate, actually, it's funny. I've actually spoke to Mum a fair few times and Mum and Dad a fair few times about it, but, mate, they are just as sort of... unsure as me.
Really?
They've got no idea. So,
mate, you got to do a DNA test. You could be playing for some strange random rugby league country when it comes to the World Cup.
Yeah, well, it's Mum's sort of a bit different with that kind of stuff. She you can have them bags that you sort of do like a spit test in.
Yep.
And she's sort of a bit particular about that. She doesn't like knowing that my sort of DNA can be out there and be processed and that kind of stuff.
That's a fair point too.
Which she's because I've actually asked her, because I've gone to Mum, I actually want to know, because I actually said the same thing. Like I could play for anyone. Like
it sounds like maybe Swedish or something.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange sort of last name, but I guess you don't sort of know like who you could play for, especially when you're unsure about your heritage and that. But yeah, Mum's real particular about that. She's sort of, nah, mate, I just, you never
know what they could do with that DNA.
Which is fair enough. But
100%.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that Mum and Dad don't sort of know too. So,
bro, look at me. I look like a fucking massive wog, and I'm Australian. And the closest I come to any ethnicity, no one ever believes me, is Chinese. Bro, I swear to God, I'm not geeing up. Everyone's like, bro, as if I swear to God, my granddad is Chinese. And that's my biological granddad, so we didn't actually know that much about him.
Wow.
And then like my sisters are blonde hair, green eyes, and then my brother and me look like wogs, and my mum looks like a wog, but my dad's Aussie.
Yeah.
So my great grandparents, great, they're all Aussie, and then like great is English and Irish.
Wow.
And
well, that's the first impression I had. I was like, Jesus, he's mad.
100%. Everyone does, bro. You know what's crazy is like, so my missus, she likes guys with dark eyes, dark hair.
Yeah.
And when I met her, I was like, she's like, oh yeah, so like you maybe Turkish or Greek or something like that. I'm like, I'm actually, cause she's Asian as well. I'm actually fully Chinese.
So she's got a bit of Asian in.
No, she's fully Filipino.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like as in you see her, you think of Asian.
Yeah, wow.
And so like it's ironic that like I look like what she likes, but I'm actually not that. You know what I mean? So it's when it comes to heritage, I'm always interested in heritage because like it's something for me personally where I'm like, what the fuck? How do I look like such a wog when?
Do you interesting. So does she cook her Asian meals and that?
Nah. She was born here, but both parents are Filipino.
Yeah,
so like they speak a bit of Philippine. I don't know.
Yeah.
They speak there sometimes, like a little bit, but they've got. It's weird actually because like a lot of those Asian countries, especially like Filipino and that, they've got American accents.
Yeah.
Because they watch so much, like they watch American TV and that.
Yeah.
So her parents have a little bit of an accent, like semi-American Filipino, whereas she was born here. So, but she looks fully Filipino. So that's pretty funny.
Sure.
But how's it been for you personally? You had a fantastic year last year, public perception wise, in the sense that like people are like, wow, this guy could be something special. But personally, you didn't actually play that much footy games. So what's it been like for you? Coming into this year and everything like that.
Yeah, mate. It's obviously, I guess last year I was stoked with like how it finished.
Yep.
Obviously, I didn't play too many games, being 18th man for I guess 90% of the season. I guess there was a little sort of lapse there where I fractured my scaphoid doing sparring at training. But so I was out there for about 8-9 weeks and didn't sort of play too much footy, but I got a good opportunity there at the end of the year and finished there pretty strongly. So obviously it was a lot of confidence taken to this year, but it's sort of been a good pre-season and the rest of the team, the rest of the boys are training real well and we're looking forward to sort of come round one.
And so personally, so last year was your first full pre-season in first grade?
Yep.
And so this year's your second one. So it's usually the year where you start like not just trying to get through it, but you're like looking at PBs, you're getting a bit stronger, your fitness is really good. Is this the best you've ever been fitness-wise?
To be honest, probably fitness-wise, I reckon I felt better last year.
Yeah. Were you lighter last year?
Yeah, I was a bit lighter last year as well,
Yeah.
which is sort of fair enough. But I guess strength-wise, I'm a little bit better going into this year.
Yep.
And sort of, I guess on the field as well. Like I feel stronger on the field, like especially with my contact and that kind of stuff. But last year, fitness-wise, I probably felt better last year, which is probably a little bit different. You sort of your second year, you probably feel. Although I feel like the preseason last year was a lot tougher than this year's, so that's probably.
Okay. It's probably because especially with what happened last year, first 10 rounds, you're on top of the table.
Who knows? I guess you never sort of know, but I definitely feel like this preseason has sort of been taken back a little bit compared to last year. Like last year, it just felt like we were doing ridiculous amounts of running.
Oh, really?
It felt like running non-stop. But this year was probably more sort of game orientated, like fitness game wise. I don't know if you've had a couple of pre-seasons like that.
Yeah.
But that just sort of felt like what our pre-seasons were like this year. But no, I'm feeling good going into this season, yeah.
And so, I don't know if this will probably be released after the name gets announced.
Yeah.
But, you personally, you're not in the side this week. You're 18th man.
Yeah, 18th man this week.
And so, obviously there's a lot that goes on, when it comes to footy. But how does that feel personally? I mean, I know it would feel a little bit like a step back, but you're 19 years old, so it's a long career.
Yeah, mate. It's hard to take, especially like I get like I'm young and new to it, but it's tough when you finish a year like I guess you did last year, and you're happy with how you're going, and you receive sort of feedback, and you're confident that you're sort of going to be playing, and I sort of didn't trial the best that I did, but I guess it happens. You play rugby league, and these are the pros and cons of having it. Like your successes are so good, but I guess when it's not, they're shit. So it's a game of mixed emotions, and I guess it's not about sitting down and kicking stones about it. It's just sort of how you react, and I guess the only one that'll fix it is yourself. So it's out of your control. But the things that you do next is sort of what counts, I guess. So obviously it's going to be tough. It's been tough to take, but I'm not going to sit down and kick stones. So.
Yeah. I mean, as I said to you earlier, my best year I ever had, similar situation, finished the year before really strong. Was kind of told, that I was there or thereabouts, and then I didn't start the year. And yet that 2008 year was the best year I ever had, and I ended up fighting my way back in the side. I think it was like round 2 or 3. Yeah. And it's just so strange in footy how 1 week you can be like the world's ending, not the world's ending, but you're devastated. Yeah. And then next week you get called up and play really well, and it's like, okay, we're back, we're good, everything's good.
Yeah, that's right, mate. As I said, your emotions get so high sometimes, but I get in click of the fingers, they can just turn, and it's a business and it's a brutal sport, and I guess when you receive sort of feedback that you don't want to hear, sometimes you receive feedback that you do want to hear, but sometimes you got to receive stuff that you don't want to hear and take it on board. It's as simple as that. And I guess you got people coming in and out so often. That you give your spot up for an inch, it can be gone for so long.
Yeah, for like 6 games or something like that. Yeah.
Even longer sometimes. I guess it's like almost people that retire sometimes. They get they're looking forward to getting or they're so sort of keen on sort of finishing their career at and walk out being a legend, but sometimes it can finish and they can finish in reserve grade. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And it's
footy, bro.
That's footy, and it's hard. You can't sort of put a nail on it and say exactly what it is, because everyone has their say, and you're only one person, so you can only sort of do what you think's right.
So take us back to a young Zach. Grew up in St. George. In Wollongong.
Nah, mate. So I grew up in a small town called Tamora.
Yep.
So it's
that?
out near Wagga.
Oh, okay. So it's inland New South Wales.
Yeah. So southern New South Wales, and yeah, mate. Only sort of a population there of 4,000 people.
Oh
so,
shit. So farm boy, pretty much.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mate, country boy, and yeah, family of 5. Got an older brother that plays with the Dragons as well.
Yep.
Hayden. So I've come up with the junior ranks here in Wollongong playing with the Steelers, like Harold Matts, SG Ball, under 20s and New South Wales Cup and obviously that kind of stuff. But yeah, mate, Tamora boy, and went to a school called St. Anne's, and we had the same 20 people from kindergarten to year 10. And
Oh shit.
yeah, so
was it always a plan to from a young age was you? I mean, you're obviously an athlete, obviously good at footy, but was it always something that you're like, I want to play footy, 100%?
Yeah, mate. I guess it was back home in Tamora, it's so different to Wollongong.
Yeah.
It's obviously a massive eye opener moving down to Wollongong, but I guess being like at home in Tamora, everyone plays sport.
Yeah.
You finish school and you go down, you kick the footy, you go with your mates, kick the footy, you go play tennis, you go to the pool, you go swim, you go play basketball, you
Just
go play
active.
golf.
Yeah.
Like no one's inside ever. You're never inside. So each day you're playing a different sport, and I guess footy was probably just the thing that we took most seriously, and I guess we just always sort of went away on like rep footy and that kind of stuff. And we always had a pretty good team coming through the ranks. Like playing for Tamora and obviously Group 9, which is our rep team. We always had a pretty good team, and
Who was your NRL team growing up? Like Dragons or
Tigers?
Tigers?
Tigers were my
fucking hell, eh? So that would have been 2005 when they won the comp.
Benji Marshall, I just thought was the best thing in the world.
Oh really?
He mate, I tried to do all the flick passes, tried to do the goose step.
Yep.
Mate, I thought he was the best thing on the planet.
Yeah. I mean,
I've even got like this massive. The only thing I wanted for my birthday was just this big, sort of big picture that was sold down at the local sort of memorabilia shop.
Yep.
The only thing I wanted for my birthday was just this massive poster of Benji, and it just had a big photo of him with like little photos and that.
How weird is it that like now, you're playing in the same comp as the guy that you wanted a poster of?
I know, it's pretty bizarre, mate. It's pretty bizarre, and yeah, I know. Like honestly, it's yeah, mate,
2005 Benji,
and that was ages ago. Yeah, and mate, that's when he was, mate, no one could touch him really.
He was ridiculous.
I remember you probably would have played against him, I'd say.
2007, 8, 9.
You would have played, a fair few games against him.
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't know. He went to Union for a bit. I can't even remember, bro. You know how because you play so many teams, like you don't actually think about who's on the other, side really that much in the sense of like, for example, I played against Thurston, but I wasn't sitting there going like, fuck,
whoa,
there's fucking Thurston, like even though I look back now and I go, fuck, I was fucking blessed to be playing against that dude.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going, there's Thurston in there, right? Like I was, because you don't think, I'm definitely not saying I'm equal to Thurston, but he's just another footy player to me when you're on the field. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I know what you mean. That's basically the same as like everyone was hyping it up when I was coming up against Greg Inglis.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
It's the same concept. He's been the best centre that the game's ever seen.
Yep.
And mate, he's the strongest centre, probably the strongest person in the NRL.
Yep.
Like he's someone that if you're not close enough to him when he's got the ball, he would throw you into the grandstands.
Yeah. What was that like when you first ran against?
I was nervous but I just thought, like.
Oh, you made your debut against GI.
Oh yeah, I did too. Yeah,
okay, we'll get to that eventually. We'll stay with the Benji. Sorry, bro. Yeah. So the Benji. So what was about Benji that you So you liked Tigers before Benji, or when Benji came through the Tigers?
No, I was bloody. All I can remember was. See, I can't even remember them winning the grand final. Like the last thing I remember about footy was probably 2006, 2007, and that was going back. I would have been probably
You'd have been 7, 8 years old.
yeah,
Yeah.
5, 6.
Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
So you would have been... So when I made my debut 2007, you would have been 9 years old.
8.
8 years old.
8. Yeah,
Fucking hell, bro. That's hectic.
yeah.
I feel
So,
so old, mate. I feel so old. Yeah, okay, so you obviously... Would you watch that grand final then? Do you remember watching it or not really?
nah.
Okay,
nah,
so you don't even
I
remember.
can't even. I can't.
Because you'd have been
remember
like
that.
6 years old then, so,
Yeah,
so young.
no, I can't remember them winning the grand final. No,
Yeah.
obviously, like they go over all the highlights and the flick pass
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I can remember watching Benji and who was it?
Scotty Prince.
Scotty Prince was there.
Yep. Frankie.
Yeah, but I
Hodgson
guess
at the back.
when I was sort of right into it, it was when they had like Gareth Ellis.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Who else they have? Like Chris Hyington,
Yep.
Bryce Gibbs.
Braithen Astor, was he there?
Braithen Astor he just sort of got there when I
Okay.
was sort of
Started, like,
started
getting
yeah,
older kind of thing.
Yeah. Braithen Astor, yeah, he was there. Who else? Like Blake Ashford,
Oh, okay.
Lottie
Yep.
Takiri.
Chris Lawrence.
Yeah, Chris Lawrence, Lottie Takiri.
Yep.
So, and it's funny, all of my mates back home go for the Dragons.
Oh,
So
really?
they all go for the Dragons. So every time and it's funny, that's who I play for now.
Yeah,
I used to hate them. Like,
Really?
and it's funny, my coaches now are the people that I used to sort of
Hate.
hate.
Oh,
when I
really?
was- when I
So
was
Paul
supporting
McGregor
them.
used to be
Like,
like, man.
nah, he wasn't even playing. It was like
Oh, Dean
Dino
Young and that.
and Benny Hornby. And,
Yep. And used to just hate
and
him when
like
he
that.
growing
Yeah,
up.
well, they were the people. I don't know what year it was when Jamie Soward kicked a field goal.
Well, 2009
And
they
it was
won
in
the
the-
minor premiership. Pretty
I think
sure.
it was 2000.
In 2010 they won the comp.
Might have been 2010 or 2011.
Yep.
I don't know what year it was that Jamie Soward kicked that field goal to
Yep.
win to go into the grand final. I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, the amount of messages I just
From your mates just
got off
spraying
the
you.
boys, just
Yeah,
unlucky. I
Oh,
just-
so the Dragons
and
against
I
the
was
Tigers.
like when I was younger. Jesus Christ, I was the sorest loser.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I'd throw myself down and cry and like I was the most passionate fan with the Tigers. Like my dad and my brother were a Panthers fan.
Yep.
So every time Tigers versed, I'll tell you what,
Battle
they
of the
were-
West?
They just they were just into me if the Panthers beat us. And
Yep.
I'll just start going off my head and
Start
and,
blowing.
just all that kind of stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, I was a massive Tiger supporter, and
It's
but
such
now
it's such a strange thing how like
it is.
you're a huge fan, but now I'm sure there's some young kid out there that either loves you or hates you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As part of the system.
That's weird. Yeah, you either love them or hate them, but as soon as you sort of see what they do, like I guess you don't sort of. I guess I haven't been in the NRL environment to sort of hate someone.
Yep.
Like especially in the opposition. You know what I mean? Because I don't sort of know how they sort of play too much. I've only sort of seen I've only sort of watched from afar.
Yep.
But now I don't sort of know too much how they are on the field.
Yeah.
As I haven't versed a fair few of them, but
Yep.
yeah, you just sort of respect what they do now.
Because you know how hard it is to kind of get there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was the biggest fan, but I was probably I was more into cricket than I was footy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Way
And
more.
did
into
you go?
cricket.
Did you go all right at cricket? Like, was it something you were like? I could become a cricketer eventually.
Yeah, probably, mate. Like, I feel like I was probably better at cricket than I was footy. It's just
Oh, really?
if I was guaranteed the same sort of position in cricket as I was footy, I'd probably would have gone cricket.
Oh,
If you
okay.
know what I mean?
If,
But
if the pathway was there,
if the pathway was the same as it is
Yep.
with mine and NRL right now, I probably would have gone cricket.
yeah, at such a young age, not know it, like just
Yeah.
enjoying that
But-
game kind of thing.
You know, it just sort of come about footy to start with, and my brother was in the same position. So,
Yep.
not with cricket, I mean, like with footy. And
Yep.
yeah, so yeah, that's why I sort of went with footy, and cricket just sort of the pathways aren't sort of as young with cricket.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
And it's like, I guess there isn't as many like. There's not as much junior cricket as there
Nah.
would be footy. Whereas
Or
like,
there is, but it's not sort of, I guess, as sort of publicised as rugby league is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And the pathways aren't as clear, I guess.
Nah.
Whereas
no
like
chance.
pretty clear pathways for footy. Okay, so at what age were you kind of like, oh, like I'm athletically pretty good and I go right at footy and maybe, eventually I could go to an under 20 side or something like that?
Man, I guess it was sort of, like probably being at school. Obviously there was only 20 of us in the same year at school, but I don't know, just sort of, probably just being at school, and then going away to each different sort of level and then just making all the teams, you know what I mean? Or like say going away in swimming or going away in athletics and so I guess winning at school and then the next few levels. Yeah, I guess that sort of.
When was the hard decision of like, I'm going footy?
It's sort of. Yeah, I don't sort of know. Like, I left. So I started year 10 in Wollongong. So I went to Fittler High in Wollongong, and I guess the hard decision was it wasn't sort of me and my brother making the decision. It was more my mum and dad.
Okay.
They had to sort of split up to move down. So mum and my little brother Declan, who's 15 now, he mum and Declan moved down with Hayden and I to start with. So I started year 10 and Hayden worked. He didn't go to year 11 and 12.
Okay.
Hayden just started working. But mum and dad obviously made the decision to come down and they thought that's what was best for Hayden and myself. And, dad had to stay back and work as his job was what was obviously providing for us to live up there. And so it was tough, and it was basically mum and dad and sort of Dragon said to us, like you can sort of move up now or you can move up sort of when you finish school. And
so you had already made contact with Dragons in the sense that like they were interested in bringing you through.
Sorry. So Dragons wanted us to come down, or not come down. They wanted us to sort of sign with them. So I signed with them when I was 13, and so was Hayden. It was sort of just like a HBU contract, like just sort of a scholarship type thing. And then come sort of 15, when we were both sort of turning 16, that's when we sort of signed our first deal with the Dragons. But that's the year that we're moving down too. So we moved down at the start of 2015, and January 2015 we moved down, and mum and dad made that decision. Dad was going to stay at home, and he works for Grain Corp, so he receives sort of grain from farms and that, and stores it and puts it on sort of trains, and they come down they sort of get sort of put on ships and shipped all over the world and that kind of stuff. So dad was obviously had a good job, and he had to obviously provide for us, and we stayed down in Wollongong, and mum and my little brother were there as well, and Declan went to school, which was obviously hard for him too. Like he didn't know anyone, and he was going into year 6, and I obviously didn't know anyone. And although I went to school with my cousin, which was good, and Hayden, we didn't really know anyone as well. But mum's originally from there, and we have a fair bit of family that's from there as well, which is good. And we moved down, and we sort of moved down on the Saturday maybe, and then started training on the Monday
with Dragons.
Yeah, that was it. Well, we started training with. I was doing Harold Mats, so I was top age Harold Mats, and Hayden was the bottom age of SG Ball. So we played that year, and then the next year, which was both in SG Ball the next year, and then the year after that. So our third year, mum and my little brother only stayed for 2 years, and then they moved back to Temora, and both Hayden and I played 20s together. And then the next year, was last year. So this is our 5th year this year being in Wollongong.
Okay, so at that stage you're genuinely thinking like, I'm in the Dragon system now, and
I guess it just sort of hit us when we just didn't sort of hit you until you were leaving and said our last goodbye back at home, and said goodbye to, we had all of our family and friends there, and just on our back veranda, and we were sort of like, right,
see ya, I guess.
Yeah, we're going, and
Yeah.
got up, said goodbye, and as soon as I said goodbye to the first person, I just started bawling my eyes.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? It's like
And,
not a reality until it's a reality.
Yeah, and then the whole trip, like I was only 15,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was pretty bizarre, and the trip went so quick, and because I was like, we're crying the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
As you would be.
So, I guess you get that sense of feel like being from a country town. Everyone's so close. Everyone knows everyone's business, which is sort of a little bit different to a lot of people. Like, not everyone knows everyone's business, but everyone sort of knows what's going on with one another. My mum's a local hairdresser, so
yeah, so she knows what's going on with everyone.
If we sort of play up, Mum knows about it because everyone's coming in. Mum's cutting their hair, so yeah. Well, also at St. Ian's, like our school, our sort of one of our best family friends was the office lady at school, so she knew if we were playing up at school, and yeah, so it was pretty
very different.
Yeah, it was different. Like a lot of people, and it was the best upbringing, and I'd love for my family, like my kids, to grow up in a country town, and I guess coming to Wollongong, you understand, like, to respect one another. I don't know if that is a bit different.
Well,
like,
it's a smaller town, so you've got your the value you bring in a small town is a sense that your reputation matters because everyone knows everyone. So there's this currency of, that's Zach. He's honest. He's not a bad kid. Whereas like in bigger towns, you don't have that currency because no one knows anyone. So you can isolate yourself in your own little community, go out of that community, do whatever the fuck you want legally. Yeah. And there's no repercussions. So
that's right.
When you go to a place like Wollongong, it's a little bit different. You don't have to be respectful to everyone because you're not going to see him again. Yeah. And so there's that currency of like respect, integrity that you find in small country towns. You don't find in bigger places because there's no necessity for it.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess being at school in St. Ian's, it's a small Catholic school, and obviously the teachers there are pretty strict, being at a Catholic school, and if you were to get your phone out at school back home, mate, you'd be in so much trouble, and if you were to swear in class, even say shit, like
I didn't swear till I left home.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, like you're not, like, you wouldn't have been game to say that or like if you were talking over a teacher at school or that stuff, mate, you were gonna get in so much trouble. And I guess coming down to, I remember my first day at school at Fig Tree High, just sort of. So I turned up. So I was there with my cousin. He was sort of taking me around, showing me around the school, and just sort of showing me where my classes and that would be. And rocked up to my first class, and I remember going in, and there was people that had their phones out. The teacher was talking, everyone was speaking, swearing, laughing, and I was just like, wow. I could not believe it. I remember going home that day saying to Mum, I honestly could not believe the respect that the kids had for the teacher. Like, it was just such an eye opener. Yeah. And I was just gobsmacked.
Yeah. Fuck, bro, I'm feeling you.
Like, everyone, I could honestly say 90% of the class are on their phones.
It's crazy, eh?
And you start to even get that, and it starts to sort of draw into you.
Oh, totally. You're a young kid. You're so impressionable.
And it's like, well, should I be doing it? You know what I mean? And it's like the teachers aren't, like, they don't go out of their way to.
Well, they got no power, especially
to have a crack at you.
In today's age, like a teacher, like when I was growing up in the younger grades, we had his name was Sister Bridget. If you did something wrong, she would hit you on the back of the head, like with her knuckles like that, and be like, "Stop it, boss!" And like that was just like, "Oh, okay, yep, sweet, I'm getting disciplined." Like, you'd be like a little bit upset, but it was just like, "Okay, sweet." Whereas like nowadays, if a teacher even yells at a student, the student will tell his parents, and then that teacher can get in trouble for abuse. So they've got no power anymore. Like, there's no like they've got no power over any kids. Yeah. So the kids can do what they want. Yeah.
They don't, and I used to get in probably a little bit more trouble back home at school. Yep. In St. Anne's, Yeah, I just was sort of the person that would sort of go back to the teacher and be like, no, well, hold on. Like, I remember we had to do these, they were called incident slips.
Yep.
So if you do something wrong, you have to sort of fill out this incident slip. You've done this wrong, blah, blah, blah. So I remember receiving an incident slip one day, and I was just speaking to my good mate, and we played tennis the day before, and we were up getting like our work marked.
Yeah.
And I remember just sort of lining up, and I was just like, yeah, we played pretty shit in tennis yesterday. And she's like, Zach, what did you just say? What did you say? I was like, oh, we just played shit in tennis yesterday. And she goes, you'll be coming back. You're seeing me at lunch. You'll be doing an instant slip. And I was like, fuck. So, and I always used to try and make up excuses or go home or get mum to say I'm sick. Can you pick me up so I don't have to do the instant slip?
Yeah.
Hopefully they'd forget about it. But anyway, I had to come back and do it at lunch, and I was spewing like, and as soon as you get in trouble, like you just used to get so anxious.
Oh, bro, 100%.
Because I knew mum would find out about it.
Yeah.
And anyway, I was like, no, I barely even did anything. I was like, oh, I went shitting in tennis yesterday, and my mate was like, yeah, bloody oath. Like, then anyway, the next day, my one of the girls in our class was hiding behind a door, and Jimmy, my best mate, was walking past this door, and she jumped out and scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And he was like, holy shit, you scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
And then the teacher goes, she goes, oh, Jimmy, you meant to say poo, didn't you, instead of shit?
Oh,
and
what?
I was like, are you fucking serious?
I got smashed yesterday for this.
This same teacher
Yep.
copped me for saying, oh, you know what, mate? Oh, you know what? We went pretty shit in tennis yesterday, but in the same
holy
thing,
fuck.
in a completely different context.
Yeah.
Like way worse.
Yeah.
Just goes, oh, you meant to say poo, didn't you? So, and
She clearly had it into you.
I just wish, like, moral of the story is, I just wish these teachers really actually knew how good the students really were at the school back home.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Because I just think the bad kids there, they tend to think, you know, like, there's something wrong with this kid type thing.
Yeah.
If only they just had a week or even a day
At these other schools.
to teach at these other schools.
Yeah. 100.
They'd actually realise how good they've actually got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know.
But that was the first thing I wanted to just ring and say, you know what, like...
You don't know how good you got it, man. And you can't get me in trouble swearing here.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, so you're in the Harold Mats. When did you sign a contract to become a professional rugby league player? What age? 17? 18?
Yeah, it would have been probably 17 when I got 16.
Was there any other clubs interested?
Nah,
Or
no.
you just stayed in the system?
It's just, mate. I've never been I've never had the opportunity to talk to other clubs.
Okay.
I've always been contracted to the Dragons,
And they've extended way before you could
yeah,
even talk.
and I've never spoke to other clubs.
And so, I mean, as we said, I was saying this to you earlier, I would take that as a massive compliment. Like, for a club to constantly be re-signing you before you can even legally talk to another club means that they have huge hopes on you, kind of thing.
Yeah, obviously, I could see myself at the Jag. Like, obviously, Wollongong's a good spot. We've got a fair bit of family there, and I probably guess would have been 17 when I signed, and I was going into the NRL squad where they put me to the top 30.
Yep. What was that first day like when you walk in?
I was pretty nervous.
Yeah,
hey,
100%.
I guess going into an NRL environment, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah, right.
You just don't want to say anything, and
yeah. How were the boys? Did they smash you the first day? Not the first day, but the first few weeks, were they just smashing you, trying to see what you were like? Could you cop it? Could you not cop it?
They're still into the young boys. All the boys are into the young boys.
It's a rite of passage, bro.
It's the way it is, and I guess hearing some of like what they've got to say, apparently it was a lot worse back in the day,
bro. Like, God, are you serious, man? Like, I didn't speak for 2 years with the Broncos.
Yeah,
literally. Like, there was some players that I was playing NRL with that I hadn't even sat down and had a convo with, because it was like, I'm just like, what? I had to earn their respect. It took me like probably 10 NRL games before they started to like. I remember Sean Berrigan pulled me aside at the Normby once. You know the Normby?
Nah.
Brizzy. So it's basically like Northies in Cronulla.
Okay. Yep.
And we were just like having a drink, and like, I am a bit of a loner, a bit of weird, whatever, and I know that, so it's all good. And he pulled me aside. He's like, mate, I know everyone thinks you're real weird, but we respect you, and you play good footy, and you always give 100%. So don't worry about anything else. Boom. And I remember that moment. I couldn't believe that like I'd finally been accepted by the Broncos. Because this is a time Berrigan, Lockyer, Petro Civoniceva, Hodges, Carmichael Hunt.
I could imagine someone like Hodges being pretty brutal.
He annihilated me every day of my life, but he also gave me every try I pretty much got in the NRL, so I'll fuck it, whatever. I'll get annihilated every day for it.
He would have been. I could picture him being pretty brutal.
He got better as he got older. Towards the end of his career, he chilled a bit, but it was fucking brutal. The Broncos were notoriously bad, but it was because we had so many superstars.
Yeah,
we had like all these Aussie players, so it was just a rite of passage of like, if you want to come into this squad that is unbelievable. Like 2006, we won the comp, and that's when I came into the first grade squad, and so it was just like, it was about earning your stripes. Corey Parker, Brad Thorne, Michael Innes, Peter Wallace, David Stagg. Like, our team was stacked. Tony Carroll.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it was stacked.
Yeah, you would have had a stacked team. It's I know obviously what you mean. Yeah, that's just the way it is with the young boys. You get put on show a lot of the time. And, I guess what I've sort of realised is just not to retaliate, like, because you bite back. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. And it's like, it's hard. Like,
it is hard. It is hard for a young man to.
I don't even really know what to say. Like,
yeah. Because it's not enjoyable. It's not like you're sitting there going,
it's not like you're sitting there and you're going, fuck yeah, keep going. Like, I love it.
But
like,
the older you get, you'll realise when they stop spraying you, that's when you've got a real issue. Like, as in when they stop talking to you and they're not giving it to you, you need to start worrying. Because that's when they're like, he's not one of us. Whereas when they're spraying you, that's about that they care about you. Like, it's a way of showing you that they're testing you. They're trying to bring you through. What is he going to be, a sook? Is he going to cop it? Is he one of the boys? And before you know it, you'll be one of those older dudes spraying one of the younger dudes coming in. But any guy that didn't get sprayed was usually you didn't play in a role in Broncos anyway.
Yeah.
And trust me, if you do get some time with an older guy, ask him that. Be like, if you stop spraying blokes, is it usually because you're off them? And he'll be like, ask Dean Young. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty confident he'll tell you. Like, if they stop giving it to you, it means they don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. They're pretty funny. There's some boys that are worse than others. Like,
yeah. What's Latsy like? He's fun. He's more funny, but he gives it to you.
Latsy. Like, I get along good with Latsy.
He's a good bloke. Real good bloke.
He's a legend. Yeah, but he dishes him out. But holy,
he gets it.
When he's down, holy crap, he's down.
The roller coaster.
Holy crap, he's an emotional roller coaster.
Is he injured at the moment?
No, he's good. He's playing round one.
Yeah. Is he playing round one? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, mate, he dishes it out, but wow, when he's down, he is severely down. Like yesterday, I went to record him and he was like, don't even start. Don't eat, like, just gave me a mouthful and I just went to record him because he was just like sitting on his phone. Bottom lip was hanging on the ground.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Anyway, big lass. He's good. He's like the glue of our team, I reckon. Me coming through, like he's probably been the best for me,
really?
I reckon. Like, just just everything that he's had to say, he just has so much meaning behind it, and has a lot of purpose, and everything that he's said. Like, he's been around the traps, he's seen what people are like, he's seen what people like, how real people have been to him, and all that kind of stuff. And I guess he's seen all the coaches, and he's been to so many, like 5 or 6 clubs. So he's seen the best of the best, worst of the worst. So I've taken a leaf out of his book and everything that he's had to say to me, I've taken on board. And yeah, it's people like that I guess have your best
unsung heroes that you don't
unsung heroes, like that have been around there. They've done it. He's played like 160 NRL games.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't realise it.
Heaps of NRL.
Yeah, and all different clubs. So he's the journeyman that doesn't get the cream of the crop. He's the grinder that just keeps turning up.
Yeah.
Okay, so last year you made your debut, and the first 10 rounds you're 18th. So how many NRL games did you play last year?
4.
And so how many footy games did you play last year, not including rep?
Wouldn't have been 10.
Wouldn't have been 10. So
No.
what? So you played maybe 3 reserve grade games?
Would have been maybe 5.
So the 4 games that people saw last year, you only played maybe 9 games that entire year. So they saw. You were 18th man.
I couldn't even tell you. There's no way I would have played 10 games of cut. No chance. I wouldn't have played. Yeah, no way.
And so you were 18th man how many weeks in a row for the start of the year? Or how many weeks all up?
Well, it was 9 weeks straight up because I played round 10.
Holy moly. So you made your debut round 10?
Yep.
And so before you made your debut, you literally, you were 18th man, 9 games in a row.
Yeah, Australian Royals, 18th, 18th, 19th man. I guess, you carry it back and you carry it forward.
Yep. And so when you did make your debut, it was against the Rabbitohs. Because like you were, slowly put into the position of like 18th, 19th man. But when it finally was like you are playing, what was that conversation like? How did it come about?
Yeah, it was the best feeling ever. Like, honestly. I remember we actually out at Kiama. We're down there. Jess was getting her foot checked out. And,
Jess is your partner?
My partner, yeah.
Jessica Surgis?
Surgis.
And she plays for the Australian Rugby League.
She plays for the Tourists, yeah. So she was out actually down in Kiama. She was getting her foot checked or ankle checked. Not quite sure, but and as she was getting that, I just thought, I wasn't sort of sitting around there. I just went and grabbed a coffee, and I had Benny Harron, our manager, rang me and said to me, "What are you sort of doing?" And when he rang me, he was like, "Oh, I want you to come in and see us in here." And I was like 99% confident. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna debut," and because it was on the I think it was the Monday. It was the Monday. So the Tuesday, the team gets announced. The team gets announced, and he said to me, "I want you to come in." And Mary told me like a week beforehand, "Yeah, you're going to be playing soon." Yeah, and I was like, "Yep." No, like I didn't sort of know what to say. I was like, "Yep, no worries, mate. Yep."
All good, sweet.
Yeah, I didn't want to go. Fuck, like, yeah, sweet. But they were like leading into a game, so I didn't want to be thinking like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, he rang me and I was at the coffee shop and I was just ordering, and I seen Benny's name come up on the phone. I was just about to pay and I was like, "Oh, hold on." I just answered the phone. I had people behind me waiting. I was just like, "Hello." And anyway, I just felt so rude. Like I just took out of these people that were ordering, and I sort of had half of an idea that, and he's just like, "Yeah, I need you to come in. Like, can you come in today?" And I was like, yeah, I'll come in like as soon as I can. I'm just going and I'll come straight in. And he's like, "Yeah, no worries, mate. Just take your time. It's all good." And I was like, yep, I'll be in there soon. And I was just like, "Oh," and then hung up and I was like, "Oh, how much?" Blah blah blah, and just tapped and Anyway, went back to Jess and I'm like, I told Jess and I was like, I think I'm going to debut. And anyway, after she was done, I was just like sitting there. "Oh, you ready? And anyway, got in the car and I was speeding the whole way home and dropped Jess off because I live just across the road from Wynn Stadium. So just dropped her off and then just pulled in and then sort of ran upstairs and went, like I'd seen Benny and I was like, "Oh, is everything sweet?" And he's like, yeah, no, all good. And I was sitting there and I seen on his desk, on Benny's desk, that my name was in the team list.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yes, I'm playing. And then he's like, oh, I'll come in, we'll just go see Mary. And
Yeah.
sat down and, yeah, Mary told me, and he's just like, so, playing NRL this week? And I'm like, fucking oath. Like, it was the best feeling, but it was the best feeling. You'd know too, like, being told. And I was just ecstatic and went back and told Jess straight away, started crying, rang my dad straight away, was bawling my eyes. And I was just like, there's just obviously so much emotion and that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was just, bro, it was the best feeling.
And so you debuted against the Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
At centre.
Nah, come on at wing too.
Come on at wing.
Yeah, so obviously debut wasn't the best one, but you know, just say you played NRL, like I only got to play
Still ran on that field, bro.
6 minutes there at the end, but we were behind the whole game, and you know, being a back on the bench, being behind the whole game, it's sort of hard. And yeah, went on. I didn't even get a run or make a tackle as well. So I think my fantasy points or something, some of the boys told me was -2.
-2.
-2.
That's
so
fucking bullshit.
yeah, because I think we went on, and as I went on, it was after a try had just been scored.
Yep.
And as I went on, we sort of kicked off. They had the ball, and then kicked down to us, and then we scored. I think Frizz scored, and then they kicked off to us again, and then we kicked them. Then they had the ball, and then they scored. We got stuck. Like I got stuck like 1-on-3 down the short side.
Yep.
And then anyway, they just put a grubber in. I sort of went to, there was Damien Cook come down the short side and he put a grubber in. I sort of went to sort of try and trap that. Then anyway, went to Duff, and I think Duff just sort of juggled it, and then Gregingus caught it, and as he put the ball down, I went to try and push him out, but he got it down. And I had -2 for like
that's bullshit.
So it's probably the worst debut you could ever hope for. But yeah, I think the best feeling was when I played that Broncos game, and then just after, after winning that game, at Suncorp,
when you touched him up,
yeah.
So that was finals footy.
That was finals, yeah.
Far out.
That was the do or die. So we lost that, and you're out.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we obviously it was a real good performance by all the team, and yeah, we right at the end, Duff scored there right at the end, and it was honestly the best feeling ever. And I remember
Suncorp too, bro.
I remember just going up to that turn off.
It's a change of battery, but it's all good. It's on me, but I didn't even put myself in that much.
I remember, I remember as soon as we finished, I remember going over to my mum and just cuddling my mum, and it was just bawling my eyes.
Oh, really?
It was just the best feeling, and yeah, going in the sheds with the boys after the game, after this such a hectic game.
Yeah,
it was sick.
And it's Suncorp too, bro.
Yeah,
you cannot.
I remember running out. I was like, holy shit! You can't hear yourself think. I remember when they scored a try too.
Just move forward a bit, Mike.
They scored a try too, and when they scored that second try, listening to the crowd scream was deafening. I remember just my ears were ringing.
Oh, really?
And I was just
Suncorp, bro.
It was ridiculous.
Man.
Yeah.
Now, when I think about running out in front of 55,000 Cowboys Broncos round 1,
yeah.
Oh man, it just doesn't feel real. It feels like someone else did it, man. You know, similar situation yourself. It's like, fuck, did I actually do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about so you get called up into the emerging blue squad?
Yeah.
How did that come about? Were you whoa, or what was that like for you?
Mate, it just sort of wasn't. It wasn't I didn't sort of know why I got it. What was last year? So the year before I was in it.
Oh, okay. So the year before you played NRL.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was in it that year, and
yep.
I guess I've just been in it since I sort of moved to Wollongong. I was in the sort of pathways.
Okay, yep. So it was
that sort of
kind of natural progression, I guess.
I guess, yeah. I just sort of been in it each year, if you know what I mean, and then just being able to sort of play a bit of footy, and just sort of obviously it's good knowing that like New South Wales Rugby League got a bit of trust in you and that like sort of belief in you and that kind of stuff, which is good. So yeah, obviously that's a bit of a sort of way away yet, but yeah, Freddie sort of spoke to me a couple of times and that, which is good, and giving me a bit of confidence. And
Yep.
because that's what you sort of need as a young fella, and
Yep.
you don't get too far ahead of yourself, but you just want to. It's good knowing that you got confidence and you got sort of people like him that have got belief in you.
Yeah.
It makes you be able to play, I guess, a little bit more, a little bit freer, if you know what I mean, like with your game and
Like more confident in what you do, kind of thing.
yeah, 100%. So
What about when he came out publicly and called you the gifted one? Were you like, that's Brad Fittler calling me the gifted one? Do you even know about that?
yeah, I've actually a lot every
boys?
single time I get interviewed.
People talk about it?
Everyone's been like,
Oh,
so
right.
yeah, you sort of said this.
How does it honestly make you feel, in the sense that, like, you know, you obviously don't want to talk yourself up, but like to be called the gifted one, there's actually a lot of pressure that comes with that from a guy like Brad Fittler. You know what I mean? Like, it's Brad Fittler calling you the gifted one, so you got to like live up to those expectations, or is it more just like, fuck, it's Brad Fittler, man? Like, that's so good.
Yeah, like obviously that's good. Like
Yeah.
I'm stoked that he's said some nice things about me, and
Yep.
yeah, obviously I want to live up to them comments and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's good that he's got that confidence in you, and I know that he's got confidence in me that I'm confident in myself, that I back myself.
Yep.
Obviously, we've had a fair bit to do with each other coming through the junior ranks, and I guess we've sort of had a few sort of times where we've sort of had a few little comps at training and that kind of stuff, and I've been confident that I'll get him, because like he's what, 40 something now, and mate, he still kicks a ball as good as he did. Like,
Oh, really? So you like put him up for you, trying to get you to drop it or whatever?
yeah, and he still goal kicks and does stuff like that, and he still thinks like, well, he is.
Yeah.
Like, he still can match it with us. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow, that's crazy. That's
yeah,
really
we were like kicking from the sideline on that one day, and he was confident he was going to beat me, but I was confident that I was going to beat him.
So you had kicking comps with Brad Fittler?
Yeah, we in all of our sort of, when he's coached me, we've always sort of done it. And, yeah, obviously I want to be able to say that I beat him. Anyway, I want to beat him.
Yeah. So you beat him the last time?
Yeah.
You give him a bit of banter or not?
Yeah, it's good. Like, you want that with your coaches and that, and he's good. Obviously, all the older boys that have more to do with him, that have more to do with him than I do.
Yeah.
In the Origin camps, I guess he's like that, and he gets involved, and I guess that's what you want. So,
you know what's crazy is, like, you know, you progressively moved into these systems, but you're a young country kid having kicking comps with Brad Fittler.
yeah,
How bizarre is that?
it is pretty bizarre. Yeah, like I guess it just sort of come about so quickly, and you just weren't sort of. I guess you look at him, and like, being in the country, like, you don't sort of see too many NRL players. Like, we're being from the city, you sort of see them a little bit more, and they're sort of in your face a little bit more than what they are back home. But as soon as they come out back home, like, I remember when some Dragons players come back to St. Anne's, like Brett Morris. I remember Brett Morris come back. I think Ben Cray was there, and I remember just looking at Brett Morris going, like, look at this guy.
That's
like,
Brett Morris.
Yeah, like, I couldn't believe that he was there. And
Yeah.
even last year I was doing like a business course with him, like sitting next to him every Monday.
Yeah.
So it's just, it just comes about so quickly, and you don't have time to realise, and you just sort of...
Yeah, it's not like there's a program.
Saying?
Yeah,
like,
they don't like slowly drip you into it. It's like, what, you know, 1 year you're playing under 20s or whatever. And then the next year you're one of them.
You're sitting next to him at a locker, you know what I mean? Or you're doing everything with him. You're training with him. You're having coffee with him. You're having food with him. You're doing everything with him.
Yeah.
So it's not sort of like they turn around and go, you know what, we're going to slowly introduce you to this person. Like, I don't want you to get too hyped up, or they just go bang. So you don't have that
time to even think about
that time. You're just like, boom, in your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so next 12 months, what's the goal? Like, 12 months is perfect for you. Where are you sitting in 12 months' time?
I want to play. Yeah, I'd love to play 20+ NRL games this year.
Yep.
And I want to. Yeah, I want to be playing consistent footy week in, week out. I want to be a regular first grader, and yeah, I want to. Mate, yeah, it's. I guess it's hard to say, but if I could, put a finger on it, I'd love to. I'd love to be number one centre. I'd love to be the number one centre in the comp.
Yep.
That's what I want to be, and yeah, but it's hard. You just got to wait for the opportunity to come, and just grab it with both hands. And
what about? I mean, I'm sure you haven't received a lot of it, but like some comparisons to guys like Gaznia and that, because you're a dragon, because you're a tall centre.
I guess I've probably received more being like Gaz than I have with the thing with Freddie.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So everyone there's so many people that have said it's a little Gaz. It's little Gaz, and mate, if I could be half what he's like, mate, I'd probably be a good footy player. You know what I mean? So
he was a freak.
Yeah, he was. He's pretty good, and yeah, he's got obviously good footwork, and yeah, mate, I'd love to be the best. Obviously, you want to be the best. I'd love to be the best centre in the comp, but my goal is I want to be playing. Like, my goal was to be playing round one, but obviously I'm not going to be playing round one, and I just want to get in there and play as many first grade games as I can this year. And obviously I don't have a decision on that, but hopefully it comes sooner rather than later.
And ask all the boys his favourite rapper of all time.
Favourite rapper? I'd have to say Eminem.
He's a man, eh? So good.
Have to be.
He's been in the game for like 20 years and he's still selling out stadiums. I went to his concert like recently.
Oh, how's that?
Bro, it was the most hectic thing ever. It was so good, man. Fuck, he's so good. Sounds exactly the same live. 70,000 people in a stadium. Yeah. Broke Melbourne cricket ground.
Eminem, hands down. And everyone says that he is the best too.
Yeah, and there's no one that's like
even all the rappers say. Yeah. And he's not even he's not black, but he's the best.
Yeah, and just like fully embraces their culture. Favorite movie of all time.
Oh, jeez.
When I asked you that question, what was the first thing that popped into your head? Doesn't have to be the one that you choose, but
I reckon Step Brothers would have to be up there.
That is a great movie. You're not getting a better comedy than Step Brothers.
It's just funny every time you think about it.
Yeah.
Step Brothers up there. Shooter's up there. I love Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter's a good movie. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
My Pursuit of Happiness. Will Smith's probably my favourite actor.
Oh, really? He's good, eh? Pursuit of Happiness is crazy. Have you seen 7 Pounds?
No, I haven't, but I've looked past it on Netflix a million times.
Right, you got to watch it.
Who else? Who'd be my favourite girl actor? I don't know. I watched a movie with Blake Lively in it the other day. She's a good sort. Holy. Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street. She's not bad.
Right, Wolf of Wall Street is so good. Far out. Best prank you've ever seen with the boys that you can talk about? You probably won't be able to remember one now.
Oh, best prank. Oh, jeez. There's been a few good ones. Actually, I haven't seen this one, but I remember Bomber was telling me Jakey Marketo.
So Bomber is Debs, Jack De Belin?
Yeah, Jack De Belin.
Yep.
So told me he Jake Marketo took his dog home and shaved his dog. If you've ever met Bomber,
Debs.
you should see how he is with his dog.
Really?
His dog is everything to him. But to his defense, this dog, his name's Trevor, is the smartest dog I've ever seen.
Really?
Does everything.
That's funny. How's the being a mate of Debs's? And I guess we wait till the whole thing plays out correctly. But as a team, is it just a tough situation? Like, just tough, or is it one of those things?
Yeah, mate, it's a tough situation. Obviously, the club's put a statement on it, and they've sort of had their say. But we're supportive of Jack, and how he's holding himself at training is unbelievable. And mate, if I'm in that position, my head's falling off.
Oh, 100%, totally.
to think that he could never play the game again, and he's probably the best lock in the game. He's probably the best defensive player in the game.
Yeah.
To think he could potentially never play again is, it's pretty.
It's such a tough situation because, like, if he is innocent, he's wrongly been, if he is guilty, and we don't need to get into any of that, then it's kind of like, well, fair enough that. So it's just like a tough fucking situation.
It is, and I feel sorry for him, and it's just a tough situation. But how he's holding himself is unbelievable. Like, just still training every day, busting his ass, and if that's me in that position, I'm almost feeling like I'm coming to train for nothing.
Yeah, like, how am I getting out of bed? I'll be depressed as.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so I think that, bro, thank you so much for coming on, man, and just got to be patient, man. You'll get back in that side 100%. Thanks for coming on. All done.
Easy.
Boom.
Thanks, brother.
Oh, step back, step. Oh, dashes it. What about him? Is a try? Shoving up your